All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 11. This is now for episode 13. It is called Warlords. And possible spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for The Walking Dead Season 11's Part 2. So we are now up to episode 13. So that leaves just 14, 15, and 16 left for this Part 2 of The Walking Dead's final season. And then we will see Part 3 likely end of summer, fall time, something like that for the last 8 episodes. So this one really surprised me. I think this is definitely the best Commonwealth episode we've had yet, now that we've moved on from the Reapers, and we do know that Leah is still out there somewhere, so we'll likely see her again at some point, maybe a villain for Maggie or something. We'll see what they do with Leah, but there was a scene in the trailer that we haven't seen with Leah yet, so we do know we'll see her at some point before Part 2 is up. At least they filmed some other things with her, so likely see her later. But this is the best Commonwealth episode I think we've had, post Reapers and even kind of before Reapers. Anytime they've kind of focused on the Commonwealth for an episode, it's sort of just been okay, I think, good, but not amazing. This is the first, I think, amazing episode we've seen in the Commonwealth, without the Reapers, which is like a lot of the exciting stuff in it. So this one is called Warlords. So this episode is led by, we have kind of a new group that they sort of encounter, which are potentially villains, and kind of this concept of warlords and fighting over resources and an apartment complex that this other group is held up in. And we kind of get a focus of Aaron and Gabriel in this one, with a new character from the Commonwealth that I don't think we've seen up until this episode, which is Carlson. And Carlson is not really a character I remember from the comics. He was probably there in the comics or a character like him, but I don't remember, any character kind of fitting this role from the TV series, from reading and reviewing all the issues of the Walking Dead comic book series and the Commonwealth stuff. He's definitely a standout already in this episode. And this review contains spoilers, so just a heads up, if you haven't seen the episode yet, you may want to watch it first and then watch this review afterwards. He might be the best character I think we've seen so far in the Commonwealth, at least for me. It seems like he is kind of Lance's go-to kind of general or go-to guy when it comes to doing the dirty work. So I think we can kind of assume from this episode that Mercer will go out and kill walkers and doesn't really have much of a problem with that, and will do stuff like that. But Mercer is not really your guy if you want to have some dirty jobs taken care of and done. In this one, we get to meet Carlson, who seems like he's kind of the go-to guy for that, in that he's kind of like an ex-CIA type guy before the zombie apocalypse occurs, and he is the one that Lance chooses to go in with this group. So I love the way they put this episode together, because it does have a huge twist in it. Again, like I said, spoilers to follow here. So we see Aaron, Gabriel, and Carlson, as well as Jesse, who is a younger kid who goes with them. And so they go to meet this warlord, or this group at this apartment complex that's held up there. And they're quite scary. They're very Reaper-esque almost. They even have like scythes with them and stuff. And there's a female who answers the door when they go up to meet. And we do remember that one of Aaron's original jobs at Alexandria was that he would go out and he would recruit people to join Alexandria. That's how Rick, Glenn, and everybody else, originally Daryl and Maggie, originally joined Alexandria, was that they were recruited by Aaron and Eric, who were together, if you guys remember, with Eric having died during All Out War. So I really like what they've been doing with Aaron and Gabriel. For some reason, the two of them just make for a really good combination for some of these episodes, and kind of Aaron to fill that comic book part for Rick, in that Rick in the TV series is no longer there. He even has the spiky ball hand, the prosthetic hand, just like Rick had in the comics. And we can see him and Gabriel in this episode go to this location to meet this new group with Carlson. So I really like what they did with Carlson this episode. At first, he comes across as like this, and he totally had me fooled 100%. He comes across as like this Commonwealth guy who's like really excited to like have new people join the Commonwealth, with Aaron, going out and being really nice to people and having them kind of come back and recruiting them for to join the Commonwealth, to be part of it. So with this group here, we don't get all the information right away with respect to them going out to see if this group wants to join the Commonwealth. And so Carlson kind of comes across with Aaron and Gabriel sort of as like a recruiter and a really nice kind of guy, but you don't see at the beginning that he is completely two-faced, which we get to see after. And so this episode has an awesome kind of twist in it, where you go from, at the beginning, you have the idea that we have encountered a new group of villains. They have just killed this Jesse kid, and he's kind of riding in with a map for Maggie and what's left of her group, Lydia, and the others that are still there, which is really just a few of them with Maggie at this point. And so they kind of go out to see what's happening, and they get a holler from Aaron, who's in kind of distress, it seems, and we don't really know why. And then we kind of we get the intro and all that. We go back in time, I think it was a week earlier, it says, with Aaron, and we get to see all the events that led up to it. So Aaron's recruiting Gabriel, who's giving his, at the church, giving his sermon and everything like that. Really great for him that he's able to do that again, and that he seems to be happy to do it and is feeling well. And then pretty quickly he gets back involved in this kind of nonsense right away. Aaron brings him. They go, and then they meet the strangers. So we find out there's about 40 people in this apartment building with this kind of like a mobster warlord guy in it. And, we get some governor-esque kind of vibes in this episode. We get some from the warlord at the apartment building, in that he's kind of got some skulls in the back right corner of his room, his office. And so when they come and they sit down with him, he kind of shows them the skulls. Very governor-esque type of thing. But we get an amazing twist in this episode, in that Carlson goes from this guy who's like this super nerdy, kind of giddy, almost like a folk type person, to he waits until this mobster leader of this apartment building kind of relaxes, and Gabriel and Aaron sort of get him to calm down, and then he turns the gun on him and shoots him with his own gun, takes his gun, and then shoots his supporting guys that he's got there to protect him. So you have an awesome twist in this episode for Carlson, who right away becomes, I think, probably my favorite character from the Commonwealth, in that it's kind of revealed that he's basically an assassin. That's pretty much what he does. So we can see why, and then it goes back in time to show us that he had meetings with Lance before, and Lance sent him in to do this job surgically, to do the dirty work, because Lance didn't want Pamela to notice like 100 soldiers missing and maybe a good number of deaths on their part. He wanted a surgical kind of solution for this, so he chose to have Carlson go in and do this, and he does. And so as things are playing out here, we find out that this group of, strangers is actually not so bad. Maybe their head honcho is a bit mobster-esque and a bit brutal, but he's just trying to protect the rest of them, and it seems like he's doing right by him. So we get kind of a villain switch in this one, where it goes from, we're expecting the villains to be this group of 40 people with a new, like maybe Reapers, Whisper-esque type of group. The lady who answers the door is very Alpha-esque. She doesn't have any hair. She's got like this scythe and stuff. And so they kind of play with us, because they kind of make us think this is a new group of villains that's being introduced. And instead, we get an incredible twist from Carlson in showing that, no, actually, he was the one who basically killed everybody here. And so we find out from Lance that there was a caravan that kind of went missing, and he's going to get in trouble for it, and he's kind of trying to keep it hush-hush, because a bunch of weapons were taken, and his men were killed. His soldiers and people were killed. Some of them younger, like 20s, guys in 20s, this kind of thing. So he sends Carlson in basically to get all the weapons back, to get all the arms back, but also it seems to basically clear this group out, to finish them off, and maybe kill them all, that type of thing. Get some governor vibes from Carlson as well, too, in this, in that the governor was quite two-faced as well, too. And got some awesome scenes where he's like trying to get the information out of the people there at this apartment complex, and he's basically putting them at the edge of the roof and then kicking them off one at a time. Absolutely brutal. So obviously Aaron and Gabriel are not standing for this. They're fighting with him, and they smash a couple of the Commonwealth soldiers up in order to kind of escape, but we don't get to see all the details. And then it's kind of revealed that Negan had shown up and helped them kind of get away. And then you have Maggie coming in as well too, and them kind of fighting against the Commonwealth soldiers. So we get an incredible kind of twist in this one, that we start to find out that Maggie is sort of right about the Commonwealth, that they're not this really nice group 100% all the way through, and if you kind of don't do what they want, then it can go the other way pretty badly, right? So it's really awesome. I like that Lance is drinking Dwayne Jones whiskey, I think, or rum or alcohol of some kind, and man, it's just we even get a B mention, which is cool there for the skulls and stuff. So wolves in sheep's clothing, I like it. You know, it's like a Fabian or something. Really cool. And Negan returning as well already in the show, which is great. I didn't want to see Negan, missing for too long. But really, the standout for me of this episode, Carlson. So it kind of ends with a cliffhanger, right? It's not a self-contained episode. Not everything has been resolved that started in this one. And this might take us through to kind of the finale part for this part 2 of this season. But I'm going to give this episode a 9.4 out of 10. I think it's, aside from maybe the Reapers fight and like the premiere episodes of the season, which were really impressive visually and the different environments and stuff, the introduction of Carlson, I think, is really awesome. He's definitely, at this point anyway, for me, the most interesting character in the Commonwealth. He even threatens Lance at one point, because Lance kind of threatens to make take his job away from him that he likes, and kind of, I don't know, probably make him do something that he probably wouldn't want to do, or something, maybe garbage collection or something, I don't know. So, love this episode, amazing, and Carlson definitely a standout. Really enjoy getting to see Aaron in this one, Gabriel as well too. Negan coming back is awesome, love that. And this kind of new little group of survivors they're kind of with, they're going to somehow have to fight their way out. But unexpectedly, not against, some mobster boss of this apartment complex like it seemed at first, completely against the Commonwealth, with the Commonwealth soldiers being a completely new kind of threat with their armor and their, firepower and everything. So, really, really awesome stuff. So some interesting plays with time in this one, kind of going back and forth, but it made for an incredible twist in this episode, really misleading us to thinking like, okay, I know what they're doing with this, I know where they're going, and then they go 180 degrees the other way and make Carlson maybe the best character the Commonwealth has had so far, at least for me anyway. They needed a villain at least as part of this, and they didn't really have one much. Lance a little bit, but not that much. Definitely Carlson, quite an amazing Commonwealth, kind of character, general type of guy. So really enjoy that one a lot. So 9.4 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Warlords are awesome. Definitely got to see this one, guys, if you haven't. And leave your comments below. What did you guys think about this one? Were you as impressed by it as I was? The group has met lots of different little other groups of villains and stuff like that, minor villains and whatever. And I thought that's what they might be doing this one. It seemed a little predictable, and then they went completely the other direction, went completely in an unpredictable way, and it just was really was amazing, really. So leave your comments below, and that's it for this one. Thumb up the video, share, favorite, subscribe at the bottom, and I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.